You must be thinking like, wow, this is the most perfect water bottle, I absolutely want one. It almost is. For the last year, this has been my go-to everyday use water bottle. It's in my backpack, I've used it camping. A water bottle is definitely one of those necessary EDCs to have, and having a really good water bottle is so underrated, and it's such a personal thing. I feel like you can tell a lot about a person by their water bottle choices. Nalgene or like outdoorsy stuff, and then sticking stickers on them. There's just like a lot of personality that ends up in a water bottle. This is a long-term review of the LARQ PureVis V1 water bottle, some updates and some additional information about the bottle that I didn't cover the first time around. But first off, I'm Gadget Queen Jess, and I make honest, in-depth, detailed reviews of well-designed gear that makes everyday life smoother and more enjoyable, from coffee to tech to productivity to everyday carry. LARQ Pitcher, I really loved it. I've backed this on Kickstarter with my own money a while back. I knew all about the UVC and how effective it is, so I wanted to get the water bottles. They sent me the V1 and V2 water bottles at my request, and I made a longer in-depth review that you could check out later after this video. I'll link it in the description. I wanted a good water bottle because prior to that, I didn't have a good water bottle. This is a cheap Swell copy promo water bottle I got. It's full of chips and dents, and it's just really cheapy, and it doesn't smell very good in there. The prices listed here are at the time of review. They're pretty well priced. They're under $100, which sounds like a lot for a water bottle, granted, but it is a good quality water bottle. Considering this is an item that you'll be using every day and essential for hydration, I would say it's pretty worth it. Check the link in the description. I also have a 15% discount code. And if this review helped you, do buy through those affiliate links. They cost you nothing. It does give me a little bit of a kickback. These videos take a long time to produce, like 40 hours. That really does help to support the channel, so I can continue making really great free content like this. Thank you very much. This is the PureVis V1. It comes in a couple of formats. It comes in an insulated and non-insulated version. It is built with stainless steel. The insulated one is a double wall. There's such a small price difference that honestly, I just feel it's better to get the insulated version. Keeps your drinks hot for 12 hours and cold for 24 hours. To test this claim, I ran 2 tests. We started with room temperature water set at 23.3 degrees Celsius, 73.9 Fahrenheit, and then measured for hot and cold water every 2 hours to see if it lasted as long as they said it would. For the cold test, I started with room temperature water and then threw a bunch of ice in there. 5 minutes later, I measured and it was at 6.2 degrees Celsius or 43 Fahrenheit. After a few hours, the ice melted, and you can see that there is a dip in temperature because of that, and the water gets colder. And at the end of it, at 24 hours, the water was only at 11.2 degrees Celsius or 52 Fahrenheit. For the hot water test, I set my kettle at 90 degrees Celsius, and then I filled the bottle with water. My starting point in the water bottle was at 86.5 degrees Celsius or 188 Fahrenheit. After 12 hours, it did drop to 60 degrees Celsius, 140 Fahrenheit. Both results match LARQ's claim for the 24-hour cold and 12-hour hot, and it holds its own. And in reality, you'd be drinking that water much faster than that time frame. Just note that if you do put ice blocks in there, it could interfere with the UVC and not be as effective. You could always run adventure mode, which would have a longer, stronger UVC light cycle. It also comes in 2 different sizes. This is the 500 ml water bottle. If you're ever unsure about the specs, you can always look underneath. This is the 1 liter, 34 ounce size. It is the V2. And this format, I love the 500 ml format. It's plenty enough water between when I have to get somewhere else. It's such a good size and form factor. It's gonna fit in like pretty much every single backpack. It fits in my slings really well. It comes in a lot of different nice colors as well. There's also really great detailing on it. Well, first of all, it's dual tone. There is the LARQ etched logo at the bottom. It's etched as well, so it's not gonna easily flake off. It looks so good. One of the main reasons that I wanted to make this update video is because I'm very surprised and impressed by the durability of this long term. As careful as I am, sometimes I just lose grips of things. I talk a lot with my hands and then fly out of my hand when I'm talking. And surprisingly, this water bottle has held up visually, which is really nice. If you take a look at this water bottle, it has seen better days. It's also a cheap promo water bottle. Even a friend's Swell bottle, which is another premium bottle, had giant paint chips flaked off. Even though I've dropped this a lot, it still looks so good. It's barely visible any of the damages if you really pay attention and look closely. But from here, you can't tell. I think that's also helped by the little texture that it has. I think it's anodized metal. They don't even mention it. So it's a way more durable finish than if it was just painted on. Even when you look at the cap, there's some indents in there. The plastic, which is BPA-free plastic, but I believe that the plastic is even colored as they're molding it so that when it does end up falling, the same color on the outside, but all the way through. So instead of having like a primer finish color underneath, like a white that pops up, it is still that baby blue underneath. The mouthpiece has this nice thickness to it, which makes a huge difference when you're laying it on your mouth, and it doesn't have a screw on the outside, it's on the inside. If I look at this water bottle, the threads are on the outside, and that makes it just a little bit less comfortable to use when you're drinking. And this is something that you're gonna use multiple times a day, every day. I mean, you could always just get the V2 and not use a filter, but I don't like drinking from the straw as much. I just like this form factor. If you can like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and even give me a hype. Apparently this is a new thing on YouTube, and that helps spread the word. It helps feed the algorithm. The reason that this water bottle stands out is because of the UVC feature. It kills 99.8% E. coli, 99.9% salmonella. It doesn't filter out contaminants. If you want to filter out contaminants, you would get the V2 water bottle, because that one actually has a filter at the bottom to drink out of through the straw. So this really just kills bacteria. It breaks the DNA of different bacteria and basically neutralizes them. I know that this does work even at a most basic level. If I don't wash my water bottle for a few days, it starts to smell. For testing purposes, I haven't washed my water bottle in months. And then one time the battery died and I didn't notice. And I thought the tap water I was drinking, something was off with it. So it was not killing bacteria, and it started to grow bacteria and smell and taste funky in a matter of days. And then you have this silicone top with the button with the logo. Every 2 hours, you'll see a light go on, and that means that the UVC light is on and working through the bottle. The maintenance mode cycle will last 10 seconds. It'll automatically do it. You can also manually trigger it. When you single press it in normal mode, it's a sky blue, almost white light, UVC light, 1 minute cleaning cycle. And it's good practice to just press this every time you refill your bottle. You can also stop the UVC light manually by pressing on the top. It happens that I'm in the movie theater and the light goes off, and obviously it's a little bit distracting, so I do press it to shut it off. If you know that your water is from a reliable source, then you would use the everyday mode. You just leave it in default mode, and if you double press it, you'll get into adventure mode, deliver higher UVC light and a longer cycle of 3 minutes. So if your water is a little questionable, then that's when you'd use it. You can also activate travel mode, or it turns it off, conserve battery life. If you want to filter out chemicals and physical particulates, you will need the filter version, which is the V2. When I went to Banff a few years ago with my mom, I drank water straight out of a stream, which the people at the Airbnb said was totally safe. And then of course you go into the internet and they say, don't do that. A little bit reckless, the possibility of like dead animals or fecal matter, and that's contaminating the water with like salmonella, E. coli. I was fine in the end, at least I think so. It's been years. I would do it all over again with this water bottle and feel completely safe, because I would just put on the adventure mode, blast it with UVC, and know it would kill all that bacteria and it'd be safe to drink. LARQ has full reports that I'll link in the description, third-party tested. That offers the most transparency and accuracy because it's an independent lab and they tested it for E. coli and salmonella, among other things, so that's how they have those numbers. If you've been wanting to start a YouTube channel just to share the things that you love without burnout or pressure, I have a small YouTube mentorship where I'll work with a couple of people and I'll help you exactly do that step by step. If you're interested in that, details are in the description. What I really like about this water bottle as well is that the battery life is long on this water bottle. It lasts up to 4 weeks, but even in my use, it lasts a little bit over a month for me, and that's with the normal mode, and that's with triggering the manual mode once in a while. I could not be happier about that. I have just so many things that I'm constantly having to recharge. I need to worry about one thing much less. When it's running low, before the UVC light turns on, the light will be orange all around to let you know it's low on power. The only downside, you may not always see it. You could always just put a reminder in your calendar or repeat monthly, charge water bottle. Or then I would just advise that you clean the mouthpiece because the UVC light cannot reach in there. and that you do clean this with a little thin brush so that you can get all of the crevices in there. And a year later, the gasket in here is still very strong. I think as it loosens, I just have to screw it on tighter. There is one strange thing that did happen recently. The top, it was just constantly pressed in the button. I wasn't able to manually trigger my light and the light wasn't working properly. I went on Reddit and somebody had mentioned that they had that problem. The customer service at LARQ told them to insert a thin needle in there through the logo. If you're smart about where you put it, you won't even notice. It won't remove any of the waterproofing on the cap. I think it's silicone cap on the top. And you cannot even tell where the needle was inserted because it was such a thin needle. And it looks flawless. So if that ever happens to you, that's how you fix it. You must be thinking like, wow, this is the most perfect water bottle. I absolutely want one. It almost is. My big wish is that this micro USB would be updated to a USB-C. I've spoken to them about it. There's zero plans for them to change it, but I have told them about this. If you want to see that update, write them, because the more people we are, they're gonna have to listen at some point. It's still a really fantastic water bottle, and I make sure to have a micro USB for that. Heck, if they can even add a wireless charger capability, that'd be great. But if that increases the cost too much, then it's not worth it. Another update could be a better button situation so that that doesn't happen, because if I'm traveling and I don't have this like micro needle to stick in there, well, that could be upsetting. Then it interferes with the UVC. I only had that problem one time, but it is a possibility. I also do like this top cap, very sleek. I don't know. It depends. In my opinion, this is super worth it, especially if you already have a water pitcher at home. I have a full review of the LARQ water pitcher. I pair these two together all the time, which is why I'm like set. I have kept my V2 for when I travel somewhere where tap water is a little less reliable, and buying bottled water all the time is wasteful and expensive. If you want to check out the full in-depth reviews of this one, you could check out that review right there. If not, this video might be interesting for you. You can also check out the LARQ water pitcher review that I have. I will link it in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.